Welcome to the Audio Inc. Radio podcast, featuring interviews with the biggest names in rock and metal. Hosted by Anne Erickson.
Get inked. Visit Facebook.com/Audio Inc. Radio, Twitter.com/Audio Inc. Radio, and AudioIncRadio.com for more ink. Whew, that's a lot of ink. It's AudioIncRadio.com.
All right, you know I'm a metalhead. I've got a treat just for you. It's Anne Erickson on Audio Inc. Radio. I'm just going to cut to the chase. I'm not going to lead up with a teaser or anything. We've got Kerry King of Slayer on the show. The legendary Kerry King, one of the best metal guitarists of all time, not just in my opinion, in the opinion of everyone, because he is that good, I'm telling you. But he has just got a great solo record, From Hell I Rise, and he's on tour right now with Mastodon, which, you know, I'm a huge Mastodon fan. I even have a Mastodon bikini because, yeah, I love them that much. But Mastodon and Lamb of God, he is opening on that tour, and I think that's a perfect fit. But that's keeping him busy this summer. A new record, From Hell I Rise, such a masterpiece. I'm telling you, it's kind of got a Slayer vibe, but at the same time, it has different styles. It's got punk and thrash and just a bunch of different stuff. So no matter what kind of metal music you're into, what kind of heavy music you're into, it's got something just for you. We have a lot to talk with Kerry King about. Mainly, I want to know about his solo project, which he seems so stoked about. He seems to be loving every minute of it. So I want to go inside solo project, the new record, what it's like on tour right now with Mastodon and Lamb of God. What's the future? Does he plan to do another solo record, which I feel like he does, I'm sure, but let's find out kind of the timeline. And of course, the Slayer reunion shows. Well, I know about those because I don't know about you, but I was totally shocked when that happened. I was like, they're the one band that I was telling everyone, those guys won't get back together. Just, it's over, because they seem to really be over. But they never said they would never do a one-off gig. It was always touring. So maybe I shouldn't have been surprised, but everyone was surprised. So very excited to talk with him about all of it. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search Anne Erickson on Audio Inc. and you'll be instantly notified of the next show featuring the biggest names in rock and metal music. I'd love to hear from you. Reach out to me on social media. Find all my info at itsmeanne.com. That's itsmeanne.com. Itsmeanne.com. Head there, head to the contact page and link up. Check out my band Upon Wings at uponwings.com, as well as my solo music, which my band is metal music. My solo stuff is more pop, hip hop. I hate to say pop because I feel like it's not pop. I feel like it's definitely more even R&B. Like Spotify labels it as R&B, but check that out at uponwings.com. Follow it. It definitely helps me, and I hope that you like it. And be a member of my private Patreon at patreon.com/AnneAutumn. All right. I am finished with all of that business. Thanks for hanging out with me during that. And let's get into it now with the great Kerry King.
Hey, this is Kerry King, and you are checking out Audio Inc. Radio with Anne Erickson.
What is up? It's Anne Erickson with Audio Inc. Radio, and I've got metal royalty on. Kerry King, how are you?
Surprisingly good. Surprisingly good.
Why is that surprising?
We just had 6 shows in 7 days, and we've been traveling a lot, and this is my first hotel in a few days, so just catching up.
Oh, wow. No, that is rough, but come on. You've been doing it your whole life, so I'm sure that...
Not the last 4.5 years. I'm getting used to it again.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. I guess I assumed it's like getting on a bike, as they say.
You know, I thought the exact same thing, and it's not.
Well, the world has changed for, in touring and everything, probably, a lot since the pandemic's crazy times. But congrats on all the success of From Hell I Rise. It's such a masterpiece. So first of all, just how much fun did you have doing this? Because listening to it, I can just tell there's a lot of passion in it.
Yeah, we did all the recording in 2 weeks. All the performance was done in 2 weeks, which is, I think, pretty unheard of. It's definitely unheard of in my career. Paul played drums. He was done in 5 days. Kyle was done in like 2 days. Phil was done in 1 day. I did all my leads in 1 day. So everybody was super prepared and super excited to hear it, in recording quality. We had Pro Tools demos and stuff, but hearing the final product with Josh putting his spin on it, everybody's super excited with that.
So did you guys set out to do it in 2 weeks, or was it kind of like, wow, this is going so well, we're going to wrap it up sooner than we thought?
My manager said, there's no way you're going to be in there 3 weeks at least. And it wasn't a prove me wrong kind of thing. It was just, we went in there with a job to do, and everything was already written, so there was no real gray area.
Musically, what were you looking to do with the record? Because what I love is it's, very heavy metal. Definitely Slayer fans love it because it's kind of, in that wheelhouse and stuff, but it also has its own style.
I kind of like what I did with the last Slayer record. I just wanted to cover all the bases with any part of art history and any part of my influence, especially on this record. Deliver something that people can say, yeah, I can definitely hear Kerry's into this music, and that's why he's doing this particular song. Say punk, for example, I did Two Fists and I did Everything I Hate About You, which are very punk influence. There's thrash stuff, there's Sabbathy stuff, there's heavy stuff. So, I just wanted to get all the bases covered. So if anybody that liked me at any part of my history, there's something for them on this record.
So great. What is your favorite track to perform live off it? Because you've been on the road for a while now with this record.
I like to play Crucifixation, but everybody really enjoys Trophies of the Tyrant because, a lot of people still don't have the record. So playing in front of somebody else's crowd, essentially, Trophies of the Tyrant is an easy one for them to get into. It's got a good groove. It's got a lot of leads. Mark does a great job in it. So that one is usually second on our show right now, and get the crowd going.
So how did you find these bandmates? Because it's just like the perfect mix of people, and Mark is an amazing vocalist and stuff.
Most of these guys I've known decades. Kyle, I met him in 2015 on the Mayhem tour, and we hit it off and got phone numbers and stuff. I never, at that point, in a million years, thought I was going to need another bass player. I just wanted to hang out if he was in town, and they're all my first choice. So I got very lucky with that. And the most important thing to me going forward, this part of my life, this part of my career, I just wanted to, I can get people to play it, of course, they're very great at their instruments, but my thing was I want people that I'm friends with. I don't want no drama. I just want to get off stage, have a Jaeger, whatever, have a good time, and just go on to the next show.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask, how much did it mean to you to get people who are friends as opposed to just great musicians? Because as you mentioned, there are a lot of great musicians out there.
Yeah, that was point number one. Friend for a long time. I know there's no issue. I know there's no drama, and we can just get down to playing music and having a good time, and everybody, that's a welcome thing for everybody.
So what songs are you most looking forward to performing live?
We've already done them all at some of the headlines in Europe. Like I said, Crucifixation, it's just super thrashy, and it's got the big giant harmonized breakdown in the middle with the recurring drum breaks, which is something I was very happy to present to Paul when I made that up. Like, dude, I got a song with recurring drum breaks, man. You got to get your best Bill Ward on. So he had big shoes to fill from the day he got introduced to that song, and that song's just all over the place. It's super fun.
Tell me about your friendship and relationship with Mastodon and Lamb of God, and what makes this bill a good fit on the tour.
Well, Mastodon, I know we took them out at the very beginning for them, and they had the same management, so they were on a lot of shows with us. And Lamb of God, I don't think we were a part of their I know we weren't a part of their original touring, but we've toured with them many times over the last probably 20 years. So to have both those guys reciprocate and say, hey, man, you guys treated us well. Why don't you come out with us and get your feet wet on a tour that, you'll be seen by the right people.
It is a really good fit. So how is it going, and what are the crowds like? All that good stuff.
It's going great. Be third on the bill. You never know how many people are going to be in the venue, because if you're in a venue where the fans are just baking in the sun, they may not come very early, but we've had great turnouts. We're going on stage generally at 6:50. It's about as full as it gets the entire night. I mean, sure, people trickle in during Mastodon, but we're playing to good sized crowds.
That's amazing. And, I do think a lot of people would come wanting to see you as well. I think it's that good a fit. I think a lot of people are well aware that you're the opening act and they want to get there early to see just you.
I think there's a buzz on me and these guys, and, all of our track records suggest that it's going to be good to watch. So, if you're a fan of the music, I think most people are making an effort to get there.
So I didn't know that Mastodon is second, Lamb of God is headlining for the whole tour.
Yeah, Mastodon closed last night because we were in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love Mastodon. I'm like, it's pretty well known among the people who follow me. Like, they're one of my favorites. So I'm definitely hoping to make it to the August 10th show in Detroit, which happens to be my birthday. So I appreciate you guys throwing a birthday bash for me.
Hey, man, thank the other guys. I'm just along for the ride.
Well, I thank all of you. What are your hopes for the future of your solo music?
Well, I know we have a run of our own coming up next year, hopefully here, hopefully Europe. We got a couple Mexican shows in November. We got like a week and a half in Australia in December. So I foresee going through at least next summer on Record One tour cycle. We've got tons of music. We were just playing some backstage last night, slated for Record Two. So, we'll just keep the ball rolling as soon as Record One touring cycle's over, right back in the studio. Maybe another 2-week performance. We'll see. I'm not that far along yet, but, we want to keep putting out material. We don't want to have big gaps between records, because if we did that, we wouldn't have much of a career. Everybody's not a kid anymore.
Right. No, that's great to hear that you guys already have new stuff in the works. Do you think you might, before releasing another full length, do like a single here and there?
I don't think so, but I mean, the world changes every 6 months. So I can definitely not say absolutely not, because I don't know what's going to happen. But, I'm very old school, so my intent is to do an album. But if something suggests putting out 3 songs instead, we'll entertain that too.
Do you think that the way streaming is set up and stuff like that, and everyone being able to release music, do you think it's kind of helped the industry, or do you think how it's changed has kind of hurt it?
I think it's good for fans because there's so many places for them to get music. At the end of the day, it's bad for bands because they don't pay royalties like they used to. But I'm not going to cry a river about that. I'm fortunate enough to put out music and fortunate enough to play, and people come see me. So at the end of the day, that's what I want.
Cool. Do you have any other projects in the works in the future?
Nope. This is my project. First and foremost, that's it.
And then, of course, you have the Slayer reunion shows. Are you looking forward to that?
I'm looking at, I haven't seen, I've texted Gary off and on, and Paul's with me all the time. So I'm looking forward to playing with Holt, because we were together like 10 years. But, me and Phil on this run are, holding down the fort every bit as well as Gary and I did in Slayer. So, I'm looking forward to the largeness of the stage. I'm looking forward to burning everything. Yeah, I
think the pyro is always like an exciting thing about the Slayer shows.
Yeah, we've got individual stuff, it's just not taking the same drag and flares and bursting them throughout the set. Our stuff is, some of it is catered to us, made for us. So it's the only place you're going to see it, which makes for more of a spectacle.
Yeah, when it came to the Slayer reunion, like I was floored. I had said for years, Slayer is the only band that's never going to play a show again, because obviously you'll see like Motley Crue retire 500 times. Do you get that a lot, that people are like, wow, we were totally shocked, which is kind of cool, actually, that you guys, shocked everyone, because no one thought it was possible.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it wasn't bad blood. Tom was just done. And when Tom told me he was done, I went, okay, well, I'm not going to try to talk you into it, because if you're trying to talk somebody into it, their heart's not in it. So it was over for me, and of course, a month after we were done, offers come in because people think you're done. So what we retired from was touring. We never said we were done playing. We said this is our final tour. And I don't think 3 shows constitute a tour. So if you want to get technical, I think we're in the ballpark of being truthful.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree. And you mentioned how you've been playing in Europe and the US with your solo music. Do you sense people are accepting it differently? Do you sense that Americans are more excited, or Europeans, or is it kind of just like the same thing all around?
I think it's the same all around. Like, the European crowd was how I remember the European crowd. The American crowd's how I remember the American crowd. So the record's been out like 2 months. every show I see more and more people singing lyrics back at us. So it's catching on. The diehards know all the words, of course, but more and more people are getting into it before we play any Slayer covers.
You mentioned you're on the road a lot, obviously, right now again. Tell me, what do you do when you're not making music? Like whether you're on the road or off the road, what kind of stuff does Kerry King do for fun? It has nothing to do with music.
Well, during football season, I still have my Raiders season tickets. So when I can make it to Vegas, I go and make sure my seats are okay and sit my ass in them. On tour, been pretty busy. We did, like I said, 6 shows in the last 7 days. So there hadn't been a lot of free time, but we do get off the stage at 7:30, and I'm used to getting off stage like 11 or 12. So it's hard not to become a raging alcoholic because there's nothing to do.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Most of my time spent is trying not to take part in every shot that's offered me, and get on with my evening.
Oh my gosh, you mentioned the Raiders. I'm a huge football fan. I actually have an NFL podcast. What are your thoughts on the Raiders this season? I'm a Lions fan. I'm like Super Bowl, but what are your thoughts on the Raiders?
Lions look good, man. The Lions looked good last year, and the Lions still look good. So I'm hoping they rekindle that fire. But the Raiders, it's all going to depend on keeping whoever starts at quarterback on their feet. If Minshew's the starter, keep him on his feet, we got a chance, but we're in a stupid hard division with Kansas City and San Diego, and Denver will come back eventually. So, we got a good defense this year. We'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah, you guys have that one. What's his name? He's like a really star defensive player that he always makes me mad when I'm watching him against the Lions because he's always really good. Crosby, that's who it is. Yeah. So you guys have him. I'd heard a rumor that we were going to try to trade for him, but that was last year and it never happened. So not happening. Yeah. Awesome. Well, this has been really great, Kerry. I definitely appreciate your time. It's been fun. Is there anything else you'd want to add?
No, I will see you in Detroit, I guess, on your birthday. And, the rest of the people that listen to you, wherever they come see us.
The one and only Kerry King. Thanks for being a great guest on my show. You're welcome back anytime. It was fun to talk with him about From Hell I Rise, the new record, and just how it kind of came together with all the different bandmates, how it's going on tour with Mastodon and Lamb of God. And I like his vibe. He just has a fun, like energetic, young, fun vibe. So see, metalheads can be fun. We can be fun. Don't forget about it. Great to hear him talk about Slayer as well, the reunion. I agree that they were not disingenuous with everyone when they said that they were done because they were done touring. And I think it's cool that they were gone for quite a while. It's not like they were quote unquote retired for 1 year and came back like some other bands. But I think the whole thing is great. Kerry King is back. Love Tom, Slayer, all that good stuff. And yeah, again, Kerry, thanks for being a great guest. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Just search Anne Erickson on Audio Inc. wherever you listen to podcasts. And you'll be instantly notified of the next show featuring the biggest names in rock and metal music. Be a member of my private Patreon page at patreon.com/AnneAutumn. Link up with me on social media, Twitter or X and Snapchat at Anne Erickson, Instagram and TikTok at Erickson Anne, or just search Anne Erickson on Facebook. Please check out and support my solo music and my band Upon Wings. Head to uponwings.com and you'll find all of the links. Upon Wings is a metal band. My solo stuff is more hip hop, pop, R&B, kind of different stuff. So hopefully you dig it. And thank you for being here and hanging out with me on the show. I love it. I love rocking it with you and talking music, talking with these great musicians. And I love hearing from you. Every time I hear someone say that they loved an interview, it just makes my day. So thanks for hanging out and being my rock and metal friend. Until next time, be safe, God bless, and we'll talk soon. It's Anne Erickson on Audio Inc. Radio.
It's Audio Inc. with Anne.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Audio Inc. Radio podcast. Subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode. Get inked online at audioinkradio.com. I'm Anne Erickson for the Audio Inc. Radio podcast.